Hello, my name is Teresa Rich and I'm the founder of Reflexology UK and also teresarich.com. Today I'm going to introduce you to the Thermal Stone massage course, and this massage course is not like any other spa-like massage course. This is a specific course which is intentionally for people that want to use the stones with a firmer pressure rather than like just an effleurage and just using the stones lightly. This is what we're specifically aimed at. So I'm going to talk to you about the kit, and I just want to, before I talk to you about all the things that I use for my thermal stones, I just want to say a big thank you for being on this journey with me and wanting to save your hand, because this will save your hand so much and it will really help your clients. The heat as it penetrates the muscles will help loosen up the muscles much more rather than you applying pressure onto a cold muscle. So a big thank you for joining me on this journey. So some of the things that we're going to need is you don't have to have all the equipment. Don't forget, I've been teaching this for about 20 years, so it's been a long time. And basically we've got Basalt Stones here, which are the stones used for heating. And again, you don't need to purchase all the stones straight away. Just purchase them as you go along and you find out more about yourself and what you need for your specific clients. And then we've got the marble stones here, which are more of the cooling stones. These are for cooling people, cooling their body, which is not, most clients don't really want the use of those as much, especially when we're in the winter months in the UK. But they really love the Basalt Stones. They're quite magical actually, all of these are. But if you've got someone that does need a temperature lowering, maybe they get menopausal symptoms or something, or grounding, these marble stones just to hold are absolutely beautiful. But like I said, they are expensive, the kit, so don't go out and have to purchase all of it at the same time. Let's start off talking about the different types of stones. So first of all, we've got two huge stones. And these are the placement stones I'm talking about, and they're great for placing underneath the shoulders, but we never place them directly on the skin. We wrap them up either in a very thin material, or you can wrap them up in couch roll paper. So that's those. We've also got some more placement stones, and these can be placed either over the heart chakra, they can be placed over the sacral chakra, or they can be, your clients can lie down on them as well. So here you've got like two huge ones. They're massive and they're heavy. They can be placed under the sacral chakra as well, or the root chakra, the adrenals where the red chakra actually is, or you can have them under, behind the occipitals, by the neck, by the shoulders. It's whatever the client feels comfortable with. But like I said, you don't need to purchase them all at the same time. The next set of Basalt stones I wanted to show you are these thin stones, and they come in various designs and sizes, and they are as they're found really, these Basalt stones. And sometimes they're huge when they come through the post. Very rarely will you be able to go into a shop in the UK and just purchase. They're normally ordered online, Basalt stones, and they're magical. These are really good trigger stones for, if you're wanting to work into a muscle deeply with the heat of the stones. Absolutely fantastic, really fantastic. Now we've got some smaller stones. Okay, these smaller stones here are used around the body, over smaller surface areas. So areas like the legs, the arms, the smaller the stones, they need to be able to fit into the cups of your hands, and once you move them around the body, they go over the smaller surface areas. Okay, so I would suggest really the legs, arms are great, and some parts of the back as well. But if you were wanting, you know, medium size, you could get larger ones and use those over the back because it's quite a large surface area. Now, when we go the same sort of size stones, sometimes stones you need to find out whether they're going to be rugged or whether they've been filed, because some stones, like you'll see here, they're perfect looking. The edges, if I just show you, have been filed down so they look like a perfect stone. Again, it's a personal choice, but for me, I actually like the rugged stones. I like the stones like this that have not been filed and are not perfect, because really, stones aren't perfect. But again, it is your choice. And then finally, we've got 8-toe stones, and these go in between the toes. They're really small and they lose their heat very, very quickly because they're so small. However, these big placement stones retain the heat the most for a longer period. So we never ever place the stones directly on the skin for people to lie on. So they're never ever, you know, any sort of placement stone is never to put directly on someone's skin to lay down on. We either put them in couch roll paper or wrap them up in thin material or in a towel. Okay, so when people do go to lie down, their skin does not get burned, because if we place a big stone or any sort of stone against the skin, it's likely to burn the skin and blister that person. So we never ever do that. And if you look at your membership body, it most probably says that you're not allowed to do that as well. So, like I said, these are the toe stones. So they're all the different types of stone. And as you buy your bag, you know, a Vulsini bag, or you buy a heater, you put water in, there's 2 different kinds, then you can make your decision of, as you keep adding to the stones, what kind of stones you would like as your business evolves. But start off with less than, rather than thinking, I've got to buy a whole load of stones and so on. When I first started, I didn't have the big placement stones, and I just started with the medium-sized stones like we've got here. I started off with trigger stones, and I only had about a couple of, 2 trigger stones and then toe stones. So I hope that helps with that. Now, the other side of the coin is these marble stones, and I always like to think of marble stones as Taj Mahal. I've been to the Taj Mahal in India, and when you walk through the Taj Mahal, it's such a cool place in Agra, cool in temperature I'm talking about, and you can really imagine when you go to hot climates how cooling walking on marble stone is. So what they've done is these marble stones here have been brought to the client and you, and as you do your movements over their body, it's magical. It's like you're being placed in the Taj Mahal again, and all this cooling effect from these marble stones goes out into the client's body, whereas the basalt stones have a very warming effect. So that's the difference, and again, the same type of stones apply. You can have large placement stones, and you can have belly stones and chakra stones and so many. You can also have, with the marble stones, you can have the toe stones like this, and you can also have medium stones as well. It is advised that when you use heat on someone's body, that you should finish off that area with with the marble stones to bring their body into the correct regulation, of temperature. A bit like having a hot shower and then finishing off with a cold shower. Again, it is personal choice. So these are all the different types of stones. I want to introduce to you some of the other things that we also use within this as well. For other things like charging up the stones, what I like to do is have a singing bowl. It's not the end of the world if you don't have a singing bowl, but all you do is you take your singing bowl or you might have a singing bell or anything or whatever, and all you do is move around it. Beautiful, hey? And this is absolutely gorgeous for charging up the stones in between clients. Okay, we'll show you later how to wash the stones correctly and clean them. The other thing you can do to charge the stones is you can use sage, and that's a really good way of using this. Just burn your sage over all these areas. Fantastic for cleansing as you take it over all the stones. And you can even do this in your treatment room as well. Beautiful. The Native Americans definitely knew how to do this. And the other thing is the Vulsini bag. The Vulsini bag here, I'll just show you. This is my Vulsini bag. In the old days, I used to use a heater, but things have progressed from that, and that was with water. There's plenty of things on the internet to have a look if you want to use a heated water container to put all these stones in. So they've got their pros and cons in many ways, but these Vulsini bags are fabulous, really amazing invention for the last number of years. So you've got your electronic here that you plug in, so it's taken by the mains. But the good thing about this bag is if you are mobile, you can heat up the stones before you go, and you can actually plug it into your car. So the stones are ready to go, they're hot, so when you see your client, you're ready to work them straight away. And all you do is you press the area. I normally take it up to between 70 to 80 for about an hour, and then I take it down in temperature to about 50. So you've got all the buttons here. It's self-explanatory, plus sign to move it up and minus sign to move it down. Okay, but again, the stones here, these basalt stones, when you're heating them up, you need to be comfortable holding them. If you're not comfortable holding them, then they're far too hot for you and your client to use. Okay, and inside I've got all my stones. Okay, they come with also a plastic bag that you can have for the lining as well. Okay, so that's the Vulsini bag, which is quite magical, like I said. I'll put that one back. And when I'm cleaning stones, I like to have a good pair of gloves, and then later on we'll talk about charging them up. So that's everything to do with the different types of stones for today's presentation. The next thing I'm going to talk about is actually going to be how you can actually clean your stone.